everybody, my name is Jenny and we're here with Senior Perspective. I'm glad you found my channel. I hope you enjoy what you see today. Let's get started talking about Sister Wives, the one-on-one, part one, but my third video on that episode. Let's go. Okay, I want to start off by paying homage to the whole argument that was started by the Christmas tree last episode. I have to say, I had already recorded everything and I was splicing it throughout the day and editing throughout the night and doing different things. And the more and more I heard the story of what triggered Cody, it just made me laugh, because I think they were trying to be careful as to not say specifically Christmas. So, because they did learn, and I don't know if Robyn knew this right away, if Cody forgot to tell her, or if Cody just didn't hear them, but it was clear that this wasn't for Christmas. Christine was having her Christmas, Janelle was having her Christmas. But Janelle had the rental, the Airbnb for the week. And so since Christine was going to be in town seeing her kids, they all got together one day. It was a get-together is what it was.
I mean, it's just a casual get-together.
So Janelle said, this Christmas tree is going over to the rental. That's all she said.
Oh, Christmas tree, Christmas tree.
She didn't say it was going to be a party. She didn't say it was going to be a celebration. She didn't say they were celebrating Christmas. But that's what Cody turned it into. That's what triggered him. He pictured all the Christmas traditions in the morning and the entire family together minus him and Robyn, and he freaked out again. So when you listen to them, and maybe I'll go back maybe and splice some of it into here, but it's really funny. The more I would watch it and see Cody be so serious and be like, I saw the Christmas tree, I got triggered.
You surprised at how heated this got?
I triggered really badly. She talked about the Christmas tree for this party they were going to have as a family, and it triggered me.
And then Robyn doubling down and saying, yeah, well, my understanding is, he saw the Christmas tree.
Tree!
And it just triggered him. And Robyn even says something, I'll have to put it in here, something to the effect of, because he knew that Janelle and Christine and the tree were going to be together. I don't remember the exact words, but remember when I rewatched it, I laughed out loud. I'm like, boy, they are hunkering down on the triggering of this tree.
Christmas tree! Christmas tree!
To avoid saying Christmas.
Did he tell you about the fight?
He told me that when he saw the Christmas tree and he realized, and she sat there and said she was taking it over to the rental to spend that time with Christine. But the tree, it really upset him.
And it really seems ridiculous. So in honor of them, I was going to get a small tree and put it in the back, but I'm way behind. I have not decorated for Christmas. And my two little trees that I put by my fireplace are way in the back of the closet. So I have two trees here, which I don't even know if you can see. This one here by the moose, it's pretty dark against the black wall. Here you can see a Christmas tree with a bear. These nice little Nordstrom Christmas decorations that I have. Not Nordstrom, I live in Ohio. These are handcrafted and I got them at some sort of country fair at some point. Nevertheless, they are to pay homage to the tree that was so triggering.
Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree.
All right, let's go on with the rest of the episode. At this point, Cody is commenting on the status of Janelle and Christine's friendship. I have to insert the video clip here too, but let's just go with triggering. What triggers me doesn't really trigger me. What annoys me and kind of creeps me out is when Cody uses a really low voice when he's talking, or when he whispers. It's that evil, like straight out of a haunted movie.
She never once expressed any empathy to me.
During the breakup with Christine?
Never.
So Cody says she never once expressed any empathy to me. Oh, first to tree know this. He's upset Janelle didn't give him empathy when Christine left. And then he does his whisper. Never. She sided with Christine. And then with that, her and I, great grammar. Her and I just gradually, just slowly unwound to this point. So much wrong with that sentence. First of all, we use just twice in it. Cody, if you want to do anything for emphasis, you have to learn, don't use the same word twice. It dilutes the whole meaning of the sentence. So, and it just sounds like, you know, you're in elementary school when you use the same words over and over again in the sentence because your vocabulary is not large enough. But, I mean, Mr. Triangulating Cody, come on. Again, proof that he just looks up these words and throws them into his interviews because his general grammar and vocabulary is weak.
Lame.
So he said, she sided with Christine, and then with that, her and I just gradually, just slowly unwound to this point. Just gradually, okay, first of all, we didn't need either of those justs in there. So let's just say he gradually and slowly unwound to this point. Of course, he didn't delineate what this is in reference to. However, we're going to assume the big fight because that's what we kind of came off of talking about the Christmas tree.
Right. The Christmas tree.
I don't know. It didn't seem like a slow, gradual unwind to me. It seemed pretty abrupt and explosive, but okay. I mean, maybe now that we're seeing these glimpses of Cody in this episode and these fits of anger that he's had this season and last season, maybe this is a gradual unwind for him. Suki goes in for confirmation and she says, so she never showed you any empathy, any love, any, she starts going on and Cody interrupts her and says, I don't think she's capable of it.
Oh, no, you didn't!
She isn't capable of empathy or love. I mean, the things that come out of his mouth. I would grill him for hours over just that one line. You don't think I'm capable of empathy and love? Let me count the ways of everything I've done in my life for you and your family. I mean, and he's talking about Janelle here. He throws those digs at Christine all the time. He did since season 1. They've just escalated now that he's mad at her for leaving, even though he never loved her. Anyway, for him to say Janelle is not capable of empathy and love. And then we'll see later in this episode how he says, yeah, he wants to get back together with Janelle still.
That makes no sense.
So here's the full quote. I don't think she's capable of it. I don't think I don't. It's weird to me that she wouldn't just go, God, that's just so sad. That's hard. Or whatever. Cody has such tunnel vision. It's amazing how unaware he is of all his surroundings, of other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions, situations. He really thinks, after withholding intimacy from Christine for this lengthy period of time, and then telling Christine it's never going to happen again, that they're just going to be like friends living in the same apartment and to deal with it, basically, because lots of people have marriages like that. And because you said you never loved her, and you made it clear to her that you're not attracted to her. You made it clear all the way back when you wrote the book. You were never attracted to her, even when you first got married. So when you put all that together, and then you start getting in arguments with the kids and not supporting kids that need medical help, Janelle, knowing all of this, What are the odds that she's going to be upset with Christine for leaving and be, oh, poor Cody, I'm so sorry. He's really delusional. He truly is. He wanted Janelle to say to him, God, that is so sad. He never liked the girl. And she's finally gone. So why would Janelle say, oh, that's so sad? Janelle's been very clear that she's been aware of how many years there's been turmoil in the relationship of Cody and Christine because Cody talks to her about it. This is where the tell-all book would be fantastic. All right, I have a title. It can be called Between the Sheets.
Bestseller? I'd read it.
And it's everything in the solitude of their bedrooms, away from the other sister wives, that Cody said about the other wives. Can you imagine how great that book would be? We could go all the way back to even before the series started. Go all the way back to when they got married. And all the things through the years that Cody whispered into their ears when they were alone about the other wives, and then claimed he never talked to any of the other wives. You know, he told each one of them, listen, I don't talk to any of the other ones, just you.
Special.
So Suki says, are you jealous that they're talking to each other? I'm glad we threw the jealousy word out there. I thought he would deny it. I really did. But this is what Cody said.
Are you jealous that they're talking to each other now?
I'm jealous because they're behaving the way they should have for 25 years now.
Well, all I can say, Cody, is maybe it's easier to be best friends when you're not in the equation. Maybe when you're not talking to the one about what the other one is saying about her. Because Robyn's come right out in these tell-alls and has said, I know what they say about me. So how would she know? Cody says to one wife what the other ones are saying. I think this has been his plan all along, because when he does that, he's still the center of attention, which is where he loves to be. If he can make a wife feel like she's on an island and the other wives don't really like her, but he's got her back, and he can do that in each one of the houses, I mean, it's clear that it happened with Mary, and we know that he talks to Robyn. So I would just love to hear from Janelle and Christine. I believe Christine will be the first one to spill. What are the things that he said to her about her other sister wives that may or may not have been true?
Please tell me.
And then one of my favorite lines that Cody says.
Yeah, it's like, I see it as a big F you to Cody. It's like, we're going to get along now because this will really piss Cody off.
The best part about that is the fact that Cody throws in, we'll get along now to piss Cody off. Again, I don't know if he's making this up to feed his ego or if he really feels this way. It's not about you, Cody. They're not doing, that's too much effort. It's too much effort to put into. Life is busy. Who needs to put in work to piss you off? He cannot see that Christine and Janelle have a bond from raising kids together, a bond from living together for 30 years, a bond of freedom where they're both in the same situation of exploring life new again. And a bond in that they both had the same ex-husband who really did them wrong, wasn't that good to them. Right now, they're just free to explore this friendship together. And I think an underlying friendship that they've had for a long time, but now it's become best friends. And that's really what's irking him. So for him to imply that they weren't friends before is not true. They got along and they were friendly. You know, it was more of a superficial friend. But now they've become truly like each other's best friend. And if that happens to piss you off, Cody, that's just the icing on the cake. Christine laughs about Cody feeling jealousy for the first time.
Does he feel betrayed because Janelle is friends with you?
Yes, for sure. And I'm like, well, buddy, this is what jealousy looks like.
She says that he's getting a taste of his own medicine. And she says, it sucks that she picked me over you. All right, I don't know that to be 100% true. That was clearly a Christine line to dig at Cody and get him riled up. And I'm sure it worked. Janelle didn't really pick Christine over Cody because Janelle had established a friendship with Christine for a few years, which has gotten stronger. But I truly and honestly in my heart believe that if Janelle was saying to Christine, I love Cody, I want to fight for him, I want to stay in this plural marriage, we've had some rough spots, but I want to work through them, Christine would have been supportive of that. And then we get the amazing COVID story again. But a different twist. A new part of the COVID story that's never been shared before.
Oh, thank God.
I can't believe TLC missed out on this one. Maybe they didn't know about all this. Amazingly, even after all the years of self-reflection since COVID, Cody still considers himself the victim in all of this.
Sounds about right.
Janelle and Christine are on vacation. Off on vacation. Cody, in another state, contracts COVID. What does he do? He calls Janelle on vacation. In his interview, he says it was pretty dark. It was pretty dark. At first, I thought he meant what was pretty dark was him having COVID because we saw his dramatic overreaction to the fact that his temperature was slightly elevated, but not high enough to even be in the range where you couldn't go into public places.
Mom, what's my temperature?
But after he said it was pretty dark, he says,
It was pretty dark. It was pretty dark. It felt like such a betrayal. And
That the two of them were together.
well, when I was sick.
it felt like it was such a betrayal. So he's referring to this period of time, him having COVID and him calling Janelle. And I imagine, again, we always have to assume because he doesn't fill us in and give us details, his descriptive language of the time of it was pretty dark refers to the fact of the outcome of this conversation that he had with Janelle. And Suki confirms that. She says that they were together. So he says it was such a betrayal. And she's like, that they were together? Now, let's be clear. He said they were on vacation when I got COVID. They didn't leave after COVID. And he made that clear at the beginning of this. So I think this is why Suki's confused. Like, what was the betrayal? That they were on vacation together? I don't understand. He says, yeah, but this is what he says. She says that they were together, and he says, yeah, when I was sick. He is so dark, and it was such a major betrayal because they were vacationing when he's sick, because they didn't have the foresight to predict that Cody would get sick at that time and stay home to be there in the event he needed somebody to run to the drugstore for him. Honestly, it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. It's so dumb. He is so self-absorbed that I don't even have words for it. Like, I almost can't believe this. If you wrote this into a movie script, you'd be like, well, nobody's that self-absorbed. This is true life stuff and words coming out of his mouth. Completely deadpan face, completely serious, like he's sad and reliving it at this moment. And I just chuckled. So Cody has COVID. He's home with his wife, Robyn, and he calls Janelle on vacation for sympathy. Exactly what for? We have two different stories here. I don't know if Janelle's trying to cover for him a little bit and Christine's telling the truth, or if Christine is embellishing. But we have a little bit of a different interpretation of how this phone call went down. But we can all agree, before we even get to that Cody is an A1 manipulator. Because why? Why would he ever bother to call Janelle on vacation to share, even if he was just to inform her? Not necessary. Phone call, not necessary. Text, if they'd seen each other recently. Like, I'm trying to think of any way to give Cody some leeway here. Maybe he saw Janelle shortly before she left, and now he has COVID, and he didn't know how long he had it in the incubation period, so he wanted her to be aware. Still could have done it in a text, didn't have to do the phone call. But that's not how the phone call went down. So, like, you know, I try to give him grace, but, like, no. He was just trying to manipulate Janelle into serving his needs.
So I was on vacation. Cody called me at the hotel and he's like, I'm really sick. And I'm like, okay. And I was getting ready to call Christine and say, we got to go home. So I called the doctor because he was freaking me out. He was really scaring me. So, no, don't come home. You can't come over to the house anyway. There's nothing you can do.
Janelle says that when he called her, she was so concerned. So he was hamming it up for Janelle, as we saw him do when he actually had COVID, and he was doing the self-videoing of himself about how dramatic it was and how he was in a fetal position on the floor with his 97.8, 98.7, whatever it was, temperature that he showed the thermometer to the camera. I can't believe he did that. Look, I'm not sick. Listen, I'm not making fun of COVID. I am not. I'm making fun of Cody because COVID is serious. And there are a lot of people who suffered, who went on ventilators, who were in the hospital for long periods of time. I have a brother that was this close to going on a ventilator before his lungs started to turn around. It was multiple days in the hospital with COVID. It was a serious thing. And because of that, the idiocy of Cody's response to his non-temperature and his cough is that he was in the fetal position on the floor and he almost died. Those were his words. It's wrong to all those people who did almost die. Wrong, Cody. So Janelle says she was very concerned. If you could have heard the conversation, she was very worried about him. So he obviously went on and over embellished this whole situation. And she said, I don't know what I should do. Should I call the doctor? Should I call for oxygen? So obviously he was saying he couldn't breathe too. Meanwhile, he drove himself to the hospital and sat in the parking lot. We don't know if he went into the hospital and they told him, you're fine, leave, when he took Robyn in, of which eventually they told Robyn, you're fine, leave too. Or if he knew going into it that he was fine and just dropped off Robyn at the hospital. So this whole, I need oxygen, I can't breathe, I was just about to die stuff, all a lie.
Are you surprised?
Now we have Christine's point of view of that conversation. Janelle said that Cody said, no, don't come home. And this is where I believe Christine's story, because Janelle says Cody told her, no, don't come home. There's nothing you can do for me anyway, because you can't come into the house, right? So then why would he call her? That makes the call even more ridiculous if he knew he wasn't. I really think he was trying to get her to come home. That makes sense. For him to just call and for no reason when they weren't even getting along at all. And he had Robyn right there in the house, and Aurora was there too, and Dayton. And they could drive, and Aurora never got it. Aurora could run to the store and get whatever Cody needed.
Good point.
She was, what, about 18 years old at the time? She definitely drove because she was driving herself to school every day during this whole period of time. She could have stopped at the drugstore to pick him up some Advil or whatever it is he needed. Or he could have Instacarted it. He didn't need anybody to return from vacation to do it. He's such a baby. He tries to act like, I'm the man. But this is proof that he's just weak.
You're acting like a child.
Here's Christine's side of the story.
He called when we were on our trip, and there we are having a lovely time together, and he goes, I need you to come home so you can get some stuff for me. And she's like, okay. I'm like,
that is my favorite line in this whole episode. And when you had COVID, Janelle, did he come and take care of you? No. He made her feel guilty. Do you remember? He made her feel guilty for getting COVID. It's her fault for getting COVID because the boys were out working. and going to school. Yeah, he's a hypocrite. Times 10. So now we're talking, there seems to be a break. Now Suki's talking about the fact that Cody is not seeing any of his family. He's upset, again, that Janelle and Christine's family are getting together, and he's not a part of it. But yet, I think she's aware of the situation, that Cody was invited to come to it, but they asked for Robyn to not attend. Okay. I wrote down verbatim, and it's so long that I can't even put a video clip in. It would get striked, and the video would be taken down. So I'm going to read to you Cody's soliloquy as to why, and I love how it starts off. I feel like, okay, so let's get to the point. This is his explanation as to why he didn't go see his children at Christmas time. He says, I feel like, okay, so let's go to this point. Pause. Personally, I feel like as if we have seen they're trying to blame Robyn. The kids are estranged, and Janelle has even been going, oh, Robyn is, and Janelle has even been going, which I believe he means saying, going, oh God, triangulating. Okay, so Janelle has even been going, oh, Robyn is this broken dove that he has to protect.
From all the ass? Yes. I feel like they have all been absolute ass to her. And what's weird is they're ass me, and I just put up with it.
You know, it's just, for some reasons, water off a duck's back. But I did not want them separating me from her.
Where I go, she's going to go. And where she goes with that part of the family, she isn't going to feel welcome.
Suki says, but, and he goes on. And her kids aren't going to want to be around those other kids. There's a lot of bullying in the family, and I'm just not willing to sit here and put up with it anymore.
Careful.
This is rich. We could spend an hour on this response, but we're not going to. Hi everybody, you're halfway through the video. Thank you for sticking around this long, and do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Here are the few points that I want to point out. Okay, first of all, I love that he says, let's get to the point, and then just starts going on and on and on. This is why he didn't go see his children, because they're trying to blame Robyn. Robyn is a grown-ass woman. She's going to be okay if she doesn't go over there. In fact, if it is true that Robyn is as supportive as she says, and she's been working hard and trying to get him to make amends with the other wives and to make amends with his children, Robyn would encourage and push him to go.
True that.
So now we don't know. Was Robyn the victim in her house when she found out he was invited and she was not? Did she pout and say it's not fair and that they're trying to separate the two of them? Or is this all Cody? I have to say, you might not like this response. I feel like it's leaning a little bit more to the latter, but we'll get into that. So Cody says that Janelle has said Robyn is a broken dove that he has to protect. And his response to that is, from all the assholes, yes. From all the assholes, plural. Who are all the assholes? Again, we're not going to establish who these are, but we know now that he thinks there are multiple assholes in his family between his wives and kids. And he doubles down, Cody double downer. I feel like they have all been absolute assholes to her. They have all. Now he's saying they're all. Everybody. Does he know the words that comes out of his mouth? Does he mean that? Because if he means that, like, show done, family over.
That's a wrap.
And then he says, and what's weird is they're assholes to me. What a weird sentence. And what's weird is, weird? Why is that weird? They're assholes to me. Let's quantify it. Don't throw that kind of judgment and accusation out there, Cody, without some backup. What do you mean? What did the family do? How are they all assholes to you? He doesn't say. Of course. And then the next two lines don't relate to this at all. He says, for some reasons, water off a duck's back. I don't know if he just recently looked up that phrase and was trying to work it into the sentence. I mean, maybe Cody's playing a game. Maybe he and Robyn have a game that they're playing, and they have a word that they write or a phrase they write on a sheet of paper. They fold it up and they give it to each other right before the next talking head or interview that they have to do. And then they open it up and they read it and they're like, oh, I have to work this word into my answer because it doesn't make any sense in this situation. I mean, it's not water off a duck's back. You're very upset about it. Here's an idiom for you to incorporate. Here's an idiom for the idiot to incorporate into a sentence. He used it in the absolute wrong spot.
English is not my first language.
He goes on to explain, again, this is the answer to why didn't you go see your kids when they were all in town at Christmas time. It didn't even say it had to be on Christmas Day. They were there for a week, and Christine's kids were there for a period of time. There was some overlap. Why didn't you go see your kids, especially when they would have been all together at some point? Let's say after Christmas. Celebrate your whole Christmas with Robyn and your favorite kids, and then go see the others. He says, I didn't want them separating me from her. No, me and her. Again, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to even read this because it's so grammatically incorrect. Okay, I'm sorry. This is what Cody said. But I didn't want them separating me and her from each other. So where I go, she is going to go. And where she goes, I thought he was going to say, I'm going to go, but he says, and where she goes, with that part of the family, she isn't going to feel welcome. Okay, tangential speech again. We were going with the role and I was understanding what you were saying, and then what? We're talking about something else, but that's okay. The point of this is the fact that he cannot go someplace without her. We know they drive separately everywhere, so it is possible that they can go places without each other. But somehow when it comes to his family, it's not that way. He insists that she's there. And he insists that by him going and her not attending, that somehow this is going to affect the relationship with Robyn. And it's going to break them up. I mean, that's what he's saying. I did not want them separating me and her from each other. But he goes on to imply that maybe she could have gone by saying, and where she goes with that part of the family, she isn't going to feel welcome. Write to me if you understand what he meant there. I don't know. I just have so many questions. Here on the side of my piece of paper, I have how, why, what are you afraid of? What do you think is going to happen? Because if you went, would you and Robyn separate? Would you divorce? What's going to happen? Does she not understand that you want to spend time with your children? So many questions. So many questions. No answers. Maybe Suki was going to get an answer because her next statement is, but. And Cody goes on. He cuts her off again. And this was amazing. Cody says, and her kids aren't going to want to be around those other kids. Those other kids. My other children? That would have been a better preferential words in that thing. Those other kids. You can see how he views the rest of his children besides Robyn's kids. It is really disgusting. It is very disturbing, and I cannot understand how he got here with them. And he comes right out and says that Robyn's kids aren't going to want to be with any of the other children. I don't find that to be true at all. At all. We heard in previous episodes that Gabe talks with Brielle at school. No. Gabe talks with Aurora at school, at college, that they run into each other and have small talk together and visit with each other, and that it's nice. Both of them admitted that. We see how excited Ariella gets when Truly comes over to visit. We know how much all the boys love Dayton, so I don't think there's any animosity there. If indeed Robyn's children do not want to spend time with the other kids and don't want to be with them, it's because of what they're being fed in their head from Cody and Robyn.
Sounds like brainwashing to me.
And then that breaks my heart. Double Down Cody comes out again, and he ones up what he said before and says, there's a lot of bullying in the family, and I'm just not willing to sit here and put up with it anymore. You know what? I'm not going to put up with anymore, Cody. I'm going to get on my little soapbox here for a second. I know that I'm a stickler for certain words and for grammar, etc., etc. Not in general with most people, only with people who slaughter it so much. But one of the sticking points that I have, and this goes beyond sister wives, is the fact that we are using the word bullying to mean somebody said something not nice to me. That is not what bullying is. The number of times I hear people claim to be victims of bullying. Again, it's kind of like the COVID analogy. It makes me so sad for those kids who truly are experiencing bullying. Bullying is no joke. It is damaging. I had a daughter who went through a period of time that almost would refer to as bullying, but bullying is ongoing. Hurting somebody emotionally, physically, with words over and over again. And my daughter experienced it on the school bus day after day after day, to the point that she didn't want to ride the bus again. She was in tears. Then I'm in tears, and I'm trying to figure out how are we going to solve this problem. That's bullying. And actually, I looked up the definition. Even that is not bullying. According to the National Center Against Bullying, and they would know what bullying is, quote, ongoing and deliberate misuse of power in relationships through repeated verbal, physical, or social behavior, but it goes on, that intends to cause physical, social, or psychological harm. That's bullying. It's even more stringent of a definition than I even realized. I just thought it was chronic and pervasive and it keeps happening over and over again. That's what takes somebody saying something unkind or mean to you into the realm of bullying. But it also intends to cause physical, social, or psychological harm. The intent has to be there to do harm. That's not happening in your family, Cody. You know that there would be an end to that, and none of the wives would agree to it. And I don't see any of the children that they raised being the kind of people that would bully. They all seem to have tender hearts. Some are more rough around the edges than other ones are, but none of them strike me as the kind of person who would be a bully. So stop it. I've heard this out of Cody's mouth before. Cody, if you're watching, stop it. Your kids are not being bullied. And don't put that in their head that they're getting bullied from the rest of the family either. They're not. In the interview, Robyn says that had she been invited to Janelle, she would have gone.
You say that.
And Suki says, and would you have taken the kids? And she said, yes. So Suki questions again and clarifies and said, you would have thought this was a safe place for you and your kids to be in. And Robyn says, if she would have invited me and they said they wanted us, don't know who they are. All the rest of the family, certain people she has in her mind, I don't know, this is plural, and they said they wanted us, I would have gone, and I would have been safe, yes. Of course, she didn't really answer the question, because the question was, do you think your kids would be safe? And then Robyn says, if I was invited, then I would have gone, and I would have felt safe, yes. Okay. So he didn't come back and say, and what about the kids? That would have been a great follow-up. Suki points out that Cody said it wouldn't be safe for the kids to get together. And she said, I think he said that because the boys are blaming me for stuff. Oh, they're such victims. Is this really true? All of this is because the boys are blaming. And is that what the bullying is? The fact that they blame Robyn? Are they bullying Robyn, maybe? I mean, I don't know. There's so much talking around stuff and no details. I mean, oh my goodness. Robyn says the boys are blaming me for stuff. Well, that's how they feel. They're the children and they have a right to have opinions also. In fact, my understanding was that Garrison, I think it was, literally called Robyn to talk to her about this. And in that phone conversation, they said, yeah, we think this is your fault. We think you're keeping our father away from us because we can't comprehend that our dad would not want to spend time with us. This is pre-Christmas now. And instead of her being the grown-up and working through it on the phone with them or saying, let's get together in person, Robyn took offense that was the end of the phone conversation. And here's where we stand right now. Suki points out that it seems like a big part of this problem is the fact that Janelle won't budge when it comes to her kids, and Cody's not going to budge because he's protecting you. Robyn says, I never wanted an apology. I didn't ask for one. I never expected one. I was not saying this to him, and I feel frustrated that my name got brought into this. I just want Cody and Robyn to be sitting there together and being interviewed because this is kind of maddening. If this is true, let's just now say this is true. Don't throw daggers at me and mean comments or whatever. Send the mean comments. It's fine. I can handle it. If it is true that Cody is single-handedly doing all of this and Robyn doesn't have a part of it at all, then I feel for Robyn. I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true because she didn't want all the kids to get together that past Christmas at Mary's house. A neutral site, and she didn't want everybody to get together. So I don't think it's true. But if they're both telling the truth, and Cody's doing all of this to protect his little dove Robyn, then he's become the bigger asshole than we even realized.
Can't argue with that.
It's just hard to buy into that because of what we see on tape about Robyn kind of preventing people from getting together.
Ugh, it's so confusing.
We have another soliloquy that's going to be too long, and I would get a strike on my channel and it would be taken down if I tried to put it all in here. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to get a piece of it in here. But Suki says, what made you want to just walk out on Janelle during that conversation they were having? So Cody starts on his response and he doesn't stop. This is what he says. I was just done talking to her. I literally, in that moment, I think what I was thinking is this woman has, there is just no way it was like we're done. I'm so angry. I can't live like this. I can't be betrayed like this and be okay with it. I can't have my as I'm supposed to be head of the family. And I've been undermined completely here. It's just, you're in a tough spot and you're questioning yourself. Do I put more effort into this or not? And I think Janelle and I both. This is not an accusation to Janelle. Janelle and I both seen so little value in the relationship that we have not made those steps to bring it back together. Janelle sees more value in the relationship with Christine than she does in the relationship with me. Suki says, but in that moment, and he says, in that moment, I was thinking I don't ever want to talk to Janelle again. I felt so betrayed.
Okay, I didn't understand that.
So it irks me that Cody referred to Janelle as this woman. He's doing this a lot, isn't he? Those people, this woman, your wife, Cody. Did you forget the word wife? This woman here. Oh, my wife, pardon me. my wife.
You're my wife?
And that sentence didn't make sense anyway. I think I was thinking, this woman has, there's just no way. It was like, I'm going to clip a part of it and put it in there, because I swear when I read literally what he says, you probably think that's not true. It's 100% true. You know how long it takes me to do all my notes on these shows? Because rewind, play. I have captions on to help me. They don't always capture everything, but it does assist me. It's ridiculous.
I literally in that moment, I think what I was thinking is this woman has, there's just no way. It was like, we're done. I'm so angry. I can't live like this. I can't be betrayed like this and be okay with it. I can't have it's just, you're in a tough spot and you questioning yourself, do I put more effort into this or not? And I think Janelle and I, both. This is not an again.
And he's just reeling here. He's just talking really fast. This is the stream of consciousness that comes out of his brain, which I think are just feelings that he's trying to put words to and is unable to do so. He says, I can't be betrayed like this and be okay with it. I can't be betrayed like this.
That tree.
He can't be betrayed by having the Christmas tree go over to the rental. If it wasn't for the Christmas tree, if the Christmas tree wasn't there, it would have been fine. Y'all can get together. Just don't take the damn tree with you. Another lovely quote. You're in a tough spot when you're questioning yourself. Do I put more effort into this or not? And I think Janelle and I, both, period, end of sentence. This is not an accusation to Janelle. Janelle and I both seen so little value in the relationship. Have seen. Present progressive, just saying Cody for the next time. Both seen so little value in the relationship that we have not made those steps to bring it back together. Then why do you want to get back together with her? I don't know. If both of you see so little value in your relationship, why do you want to hang on? Cha-ching, and Robyn wants sister wives. It's the only one he sees that he can try to maybe bring back in. Because Mary really wasn't a sister wife because she had one child who lives in another state that nobody ever sees because Cody doesn't really have a relationship with them anymore. And by them, I mean Leon. It's really difficult for speech therapy to use a plural pronoun on a singular person. I don't know. We need to come up with a new pronoun and not use them. But that's, again, just me. Robyn says that she told Cody, and she said this in the past, she told Cody, go talk to her, go work it out with her. He didn't call, text, or visit for over 2 months.
He didn't?
He didn't.
So I guess Robyn doesn't wear the pants in the family. I guess Cody is more stubborn than we even realized. Is this statement true, or is this rewriting history? I don't know. I think Robyn is savvy enough and sensitive enough about everything that's being said about her that she's willing to say anything on these interviews. So I can't 100% trust and believe what comes out of her mouth. Janelle reiterates, I was so shocked after this fight because I've never fought with Cody like this. Again, making what Cody said in my last video, but earlier in this episode, when he said, yeah, we've had a few fights like this over the past 30 years. First of all, it hasn't been 30 years. But anyway, she denied it then. She's denying it again now. She's saying that she was really emotional after that because they had never had a fight like this. This is Cosette, everybody. If you see, I notice in the videos as I'm editing them, because I don't look at myself in the camera, that there's a cat often walking around, going on the couch, coming back out. So I apologize. And it probably seems at some point that she just disappears because when I'm doing editing, the cat would be a problem with editing. So
where'd the cat go?
So let's go back. It took them 2 months to get together at Salsa Brava before either one of them reached out. And that was probably TLC's production crew saying, okay, it's been 2 months, you guys haven't talked to each other. We'll arrange the day and time and location, and you guys both show up and let's talk through what happened 2 months ago. So they replay that very awkward interaction between Janelle and Cody there. There's the moment of him establishing his dominance over her where he stands next to her and she doesn't get up when he gets there, and you can tell he doesn't like that. And he goes, what, no hug? Forcing her to get up and give him a hug. I hate it when people like demand hugs that way. What? No hug? What's wrong with you? Come here. And then the creepy comment where at the very end of the conversation when she said that went better than I thought, and he's like, what did you think was going to go on? Did you not think that I wanted to kiss you on the lips? Why did you throw in the on the lips there? He's just so creepy. And then the other line where he's like, you and me, he's so manipulative. I haven't even done another video on that final conversation on the picnic table, all the little manipulative things he did, just. But I am going to mention it in this video, so I don't have to do another one. When he says to her, you and I are very simple. This is simple. It's everything else that's the problem. Like one of the dumbest things. It's like, forget what I said. Forget what I did. Forget how I'm treating your kids. Forget all that. Janelle, mind trick, Jedi mind trick time. Forget everything. It's just you and me here, Janelle.
The Jedi mind trick doesn't work in real life, Dink.
So glad she didn't fall for it. In the moment, it looks like she kind of did. She's like, I know. But she reflects, and then in her talking head later on, it's like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not how life is. And this episode ends fantastically.
Janelle's not in love with me. I think she thinks I'm hot. I got nice pecs and a great six-pack abs, but that's all she's interested in.
I've got nice pecs and a six-pack abs. Liar. But that's all she's interested in. Liar. And I love Janelle's response to that video.
You like his pecs?
God, could you believe that? I was like, sorry. He didn't always have them. It was fine. I didn't care. There's so much more to a marriage than that, right?
And then Cody at the very end, very seriously says, I need to clarify something about it, like how that was edited and what they put in there. So I'm thinking, how's he gonna spin this one? Because those were his words out of his mouth.
Hey, I got to say something. They've missed something there.
What did they miss?
The great pecs and the six-pack abs was all about the fact that Janelle has always seen me as a physical specimen and as a resource. And not ever really dove into my humanity.
When you say your humanity, you mean you're vulnerable?
Yes,
boy toy?
Like some pool boy.
So you just felt like a resource? You just
I
felt like
a
the good
piece
looking
of meat.
Ew.
Cody says, Janelle has always seen me as a physical specimen and a resource, and not ever really dove into my humanity. And then Suki's like, you mean your vulnerability? Which bugged me. Stop putting words in his mouth, Suki. Let him explain himself. Say, what do you mean by humanity? Humanity is like all mankind. Humanity refers to the human race. I mean, we can have humanity with like fruits of the spirit, love, joy, peace, kindness, self, but that's not how you use the word humanity. But I guess he is in this situation. So many better words. I mean, this is where he forgot to pick up the thesaurus. Or maybe he looked up one of the sub-definitions of humanity and how it could refer to these positive qualities and thought, humanity, I'm going to throw that word in. Suki says, you were a boy toy? And Cody says, yes, like some poop. Like some pool boy. Oh, I'm sorry I snorted. I felt like a piece of meat. end of the episode. Oh, it's just a priceless way for it to end. I mean, it really is a piece. Oh yes, a piece of old rotten meat, Cody. Oh my gosh, but I'm not gonna say more about that because I just want to leave you on this positive note of him thinking that Janelle sees him as a pool boy. First of all, he's got such a wide rib cage and body. Not muscular, just wide. He's more like your grandpa who went out in the backyard with a thing to help clean out the pool for you. That's what Cody is. He's the pool grandpa who just drank a 6-pack. And that's what he looks like. He's got the beer bod. He's got the dad bod. Have 6-pack abs.
Bust out the BOD. What?
All right. I'm gonna go. That was a good episode. I'm gonna say that was a good episode. There was a lot of new stuff in there. Suki did okay. She did better than the last time. She wasn't great, but she did okay. And apparently online people are roasting her because that's what people do. And she has responded to these comments saying, just wait until the next couple episodes. So we'll see. I hope she delivers on her promise and that she starts to really do some hard-hitting questions. But even if she doesn't, somehow we managed in 1 out of 4 parts, part 1, which I thought was going to contain essentially no information, did have a lot of new content and a lot to chat about. I mean, look, I've made 3 videos out of it. Well, that's because I'm just making fun of everything Cody's saying. Guess it wasn't all content. It was me picking apart what Cody said and how he said it. So, all right, whatever. Thank you for watching. I will see you after Sister Wives Tell All Part 2 next week. Bye.